I'm Grace.
So let's get started.
I'm a recipe blogger, family-taught home chef,
Cheers.
Cheers.
iPhone-only photographer, and proud New Englander. You may think that brisket needs to be cooked in a smoker, but this smoky, flavorful, juicy oven brisket will prove you so wrong.
And to me, the best part about this brisket is that it's really easy. I mean, you have to be patient because the brisket's gonna be in the oven for a while, but the prep is just beyond easy. So let me show you the prep. We're gonna start off with a roasting pan. You just need a big roasting pan and it needs to have a rack. And this is key because we're going to be placing all the roasting liquid in the bottom of the pan, and then the meat is going to sit on the rack, and you just want the meat to steam in the liquids. You don't want it to sit in the liquids. So let's work on the liquid. I have some beef broth here. You can use beef broth, you can use bone broth, whatever you want. And you just want to add the broth right to the bottom of your pan. I use about 2 cups for my pan because if you look, it's the perfect amount of liquid for there to be enough liquid on the bottom of the pan, but the meat is not going to be sitting in that liquid. And to our bone broth, we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, however you say it. And Worcestershire has a little bit of vinegar in it. It has some cloves, garlic. It just has a lot of flavor and it's so good with this. You want a little vinegar in your brisket. So then I have the key ingredient for oven brisket. And this isn't an ad, so I'm gonna try to cover the brand, but it's liquid smoke, and this is going to mimic that smokiness that you get from a smoker. So all you wanna do is shake it up, and then open it, and use about 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke. It's very potent, but it really does mimic the flavor that you get from a smoker. And then the final ingredient we're going to add to our liquid is some tomato paste. And this is just gonna round out all those flavors. You can use ketchup if you want, but I find it's just like a little too sweet for my taste. And so I'm going to just mix all of the liquids together. You wanna break up that paste so it's just one uniform liquid. On to our rub. So I'm just going to place my wire rack in here so that it's ready for the meat, perfecto. And I have my bowl for the rub. So I have some smoked paprika here, and we're working with all those smoky flavors. And to this, I'm going to add in quite a bit of salt. I usually don't use that much salt, but you just need it with brisket. A little black pepper, and yes, I cracked it all by hand. Not much to work with here, but it worked out. Some chili powder, chili as in C-H-I-L-I, so it's a blend. I have some garlic powder, or maybe this is onion. Onion powder, garlic powder, some mustard powder, and finally, a little bit of dark brown sugar. And then you're just gonna take a spoon, and you're just gonna mix this all together and just drool over the bowl because it smells so good. I like to make my own rub because I just feel like you can play with your own flavors and make it the way that you want it to taste. It's really important. You can use a pre-blended rub though, no worries. So let's talk meat. I have a giant hunk of brisket. This is the 3-pound brisket. You just kind of want to find one that's not too thick because it's going to take a really long time to cook, and I prefer not that long. So all you need to do is you take the brisket out of the package, flip it over, and you're going to see this fat cap. And all you want to do is just take a knife and you just want to shave some of that fat off. You don't want to shave the full fat, just enough so that you're leaving about 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch of fat on the fat cap. Okay, there's one little last piece that I want to get off here. And just don't be afraid to leave some fat on because fat is flavor. Okay, so now we're going to flip our brisket back over so that most of the meat is exposed. And it's time to rub this guy down. Isn't he a lucky guy? Oh! So I'm just going to add all of the flavors to the top of my brisket. You wanna leave about half for the bottom. And you just really wanna get in there with your hands. Don't be afraid. And just press all the seasonings down with your hands. Okay, time to flip this guy. And yes, some of the seasoning will fall off every time we transfer it to a new place. But we're just gonna work with it until we use all that seasoning. We're gonna transfer this piece of meat and we're gonna flip it so it's fat side down inside our pan, just like that. And you can see that there's quite a bit of seasoning left behind. So I'm just gonna take my hands and again, I'm just going to massage our piece of meat. Try to get as much of that seasoning on your meat. So we're basically done with all the prep. It's time to place our brisket in the oven. What you wanna do is you just wanna lay foil across your brisket and you just want to really seal this guy shut so that it steams. So I get asked a lot whether you have to dry rub your brisket ahead of time and leave it in the fridge and let it marinate. You absolutely do not. It won't ruin it at all. I usually don't do that, but if you want to, you can. So we're going to stick our brisket in the oven, 250 degrees. The oven really wants this brisket for really a bunch of hours. We're going to leave it in until it reaches an internal temp of 190 degrees. 190 is key. Then we're gonna take off the foil and let it go until it reaches about 200, 205 degrees. I'll walk you through every step of the way. So if you want to up your brisket game, I definitely recommend purchasing one of these thermometers that you can just leave in the meat. Set the timer for 190 degrees and let it go until it reaches that time. If you don't have one of these and you need to keep testing, I recommend testing it every about hour or so until it reaches about 175 degrees, and then you need to keep doing it more frequently until it reaches 190. I put it on the side because that's the best way of testing your brisket. So I'm gonna go ahead, cover it again, pop it in the oven until it reaches 190 degrees. Hey guys, so I'm doing this segment solo. This is so weird. Eric is still working, so I'm cooking, I'm watching the brisket like a hawk, and we're at 189 here. We're so close to 190. I've been poking around that internal thermometer to make sure that it's in the center of your brisket. You wanna make sure all parts are 190 degrees in the center. The outside edges are gonna be a little bit more, but make sure you kind of poke around. As soon as it reaches 190 though, we're going to take the foil off and then we're just gonna let it go for another 10 to 15 degrees until it reaches 200 to 205. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's take that foil off in 1 degree. All right, let's do this. So the brisket is in. I just made sure that the center of our brisket is 190 degrees with my internal thermometer. And now we just need to wait for it to get to 200 to 205 degrees with the foil off. Make sure that thermometer is right in the center of your brisket. It's time for it to get all crispy. Tastefully tip. What happens if your brisket suddenly stops climbing temperature? It's basically staying the same, or even the temperature is dropping when you take the foil off. That's called a stall time, when the temperature just doesn't move or it starts going down. And that's basically caused by when the steam from all that liquid cools down your meat. It's like a nice cool breeze and steam. And in order to stop that, you can either just wait it out and let it keep going on and on and on and on and on, or you can do something about it. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to put a piece of foil just right on top of my brisket again, cover it, seal it up, let the temperature start to climb again, and then Once it gets to about like 195, maybe a little bit higher, I'm gonna take the top off again. I'm gonna take that foil off and let it go naturally again, just so that top gets nice and crispy. Stall time, it's a letdown, but you can do something about it. Let's go. Let's beat that stall time, baby. Foil back on. Let the magic happen. So I uncovered the brisket because it looks like we beat that stall time. So I'm gonna let it go till 200 degrees and check it again. We're ready. Okay, so our brisket is measuring 203, and you just want to make sure that your brisket is nice and tender before you take it out, anywhere between 200 and 205 degrees. You can see when I put the prong in and out of my brisket, you can just do this with a regular thermometer. There's almost no resistance. It's just so tender and fall apart. And that's what you're looking for. If there's any resistance, any major resistance, you want to keep it in for a little bit longer. All right, 203 is the magic temperature. I'm gonna take this guy out and let it rest for about 30 minutes before I slice it, just to keep those juices in. I already made damage. We were already sampling, but look at that brisket. Oh, perfection. So tender. Look at the juice. You just gotta look. Look at the juice running out. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to dig into this. It's been several hours, so I'm a little hangry. I was already munching, but I'm gonna munch again. Dip in the juice, and then in the mouth. Oh my gosh. So tender. Fall apart in your mouth. The crust on the outside. You can't tell me oven brisket isn't amazing. Check this out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. So if you want to up your brisket game, definitely invest in one of these. I don't even know what it's called.